Hello Morgan, this is David Gould, Sloane Toyota Philadelphia. I just wanted to give you an update of a car that just got traded in. This is way more car than what we were discussing when we talked about how loaded they can get or will be. I believe we're looking at a 2015, so this is one of those lease turn-ins that we talked about. XSE, these are the fully loaded. This was about a $36,000 car when it was brand new. We're going to certainly do way better than that to get close to where you're looking to be. We're going to have the leather. As a matter of fact, it's going to have a suede interior when we get around to it. We're going to have those sports rims, which is going to give you the nicer look there. And this has not been detailed. It just got traded in. We just got it here. So we fully have to go over the car. It'll be very, very clean, very, very nice by the time you get to taking possession of it, if you decide to really step up the game. This is a V6. V6 is going to give you a ton more power. Not terribly different in your gas mileage because it doesn't have to work very hard to make the car go unless you're stomping on the pedal, and then, you know, this thing's a rocket ship. You can see the dual exhaust in the back there. The XSE. Now, the XSE is the upgrade, the luxury upgrade of the SE. So when we were talking on the lot, we were talking about $26,000 to $28,000 cars, $30,000 cars. These cars are going to be starting at around a $29,000 to $30,000 and heading up to about $36,000 new. I think this one is about 34, maybe 33, 34 new. We're going to look on the inside. We're going to see the sunroof up on top there. We're going to see the navigation integrated with the chip in there. So in other words, you don't have to have it hooked up to the cell phone for it to work. Again, please forgive the inside here. This is the way and it's clean, but I mean, it's not perfect yet. This is the way we received the car, okay? And in the inside, we still have to fully detail it. We will go over it. Look at that, just 10,000 miles, 10,231 miles. So this car is barely out of the gates when you talk about what you can get out there. And I believe right now it still has to go through safety check and everything else, but I believe right now we are going to be below $24,000 in the selling price for you. You'll probably see it online for a little bit more than that. Let me pop the trunk here. It's electronic. That's real clean. Doesn't look like they used the trunk. All right, you can see on the inside there. Those seats do fold down, so if you need to pass along items all the way through, we would just pull this lever up on top here and we'd be able to reach through. Now, because this is a 2015, we did talk a little bit about the new cars having that safety sense, the radar stopping. This will not have the radar stopping on the inside of it because it wasn't out yet at this time, but it will have Toyota Star safety system, which really that radar system uses the Star safety system. Basically, it sets off the trigger. So in other words, you still have the automatic braking, but you're the trigger. In other words, your reflexes, when you hit the top of that brake, the car will do the automatic stopping for you. Now, with the XSE and the SE, we do have the paddle shifters. These are pretty cool. That's where you can shift the car off the steering wheel up on top right there. At the time, you had mentioned the idea to push button start was a pretty good idea. The smart key system, all we do is step on the brake and then push the button. The car is going to start up there. Now, I think I mentioned already, this is a 6-cylinder model of the car. Everything looks like it's pretty good. And you can see up on the inside there, there's a information management system that we can move through different screens to be able to put up there. Most people run around with this one because it has the miles per gallon until you run out, and the miles per hour, fuel economy, distance. Tire pressure is pretty nice to have because if in the event that a light turns on or even just to check, you can see which tire, if any, are losing any pressure. You get a nail in the tire or something, you don't have to guess at which one it is. This has pretty low profile tires, so you might be down 5 pounds and not even be able to see which tire is the one that's the lower tire. Up on the side here, this is the larger screen, and this is what I meant by the microchip. Behind here, like in your cell phone, it has a little chip. You used to use DVDs, but now your information is on a little chip, and that's going to give us our apps, and you will have a more advanced system, and there's navigation, okay? So you don't have to rely on your cell phone in order to be able to run the navigation. It is internal. That's a very, very expensive today. In today's world with the Camry, to get this feature in the car, my guess is it would probably cost you about $6,000 because you can't buy just this by itself. You have to buy this plus the advanced technology, bird's eye, and a bunch of other stuff that comes along to be able to get to this. Because, you know, just the way it is. Now, I'll give you that our cell phones can do the same thing, but to tell you what I do is, because I have this in my car, I run both. I run with this one on and the cell phone one with Google Maps, and then I can get more information to make sure that I get to where I'm going to. You have a split internal environment here, so you can turn on the right side, could be on warmer temperature than the left side or vice versa. And that's pretty nice because your passenger doesn't have to roll along, and the air coming out of their side is going to be warmer than the air coming out of this side over here, whichever way you go. Pretty cool. What else we got? It looks like you got your QI charging if your phone is compatible. You lay your phone down on the inside here and you don't have to plug in the wire plug. You know, I don't know. To me, I just plug it in. I think it charges a little faster by plugging it in. But you know what? If you're just laying your phone down in there and it's just sitting anyway, you don't have to have a wire to do it. There's also a 12-volt plug-in down there for being able to put in more accessories, or for charging maybe your passenger alongside of you. So anyway, since we got in the car and sat here for a second or two, you can see, look at the tire pressures. You can see what they're sitting at, how close they are, and then basically that would give you day-to-day what's going on with the car. Again, if that was important, I probably wouldn't run around with that on every day. I probably would run around with the screen it's got, there you go, miles per hour. And temperature. That's probably how I'd be running with the car if I was driving the car. The 6-cylinder is very powerful. You won't have any shortage of power with the car. It's got a smart mirror up on top here that's auto dimming, and that's going to allow for more options for you. The heated seats down here, and they're variable heated seats. Don't have to have all on, all off. So like in my car, it can be uncomfortable because it's too hot, and I won't use them at all. Well, you could have a mild setting. Now, one of the things with the XSE is you get the suede. This is leather right here, okay? Still has to be detailed, just so I'm going to clean it up a little bit. This is leather here. This is the bottom side of the leather. This is the top side of the leather. The perforated allows for air, not air conditioning, but for air to blow through the seats during the summertime to give you a little bit more cooler, not as uncomfortable with any sweating or anything. Up on the inside, you can see there's airbags up along there, airbags in there. You have 10 airbags in any Camry right now, suede up on the door panels. It definitely gives a very luxurious, I mean, it's an XSE, it's a nice car, so they want you to have that. Pretty much the locking glove boxes are obsolete. We don't hardly see that at all anymore, but you get that with this level of the car, so you could actually secure your documents. If you had insurance cards, personal information down inside there. Traction control off button over here. We just push the button, you can see track off. Basically, that allows you to be able to make the car so that the rear wheels are not in safety mode. And that, front wheels in this car are not in safety mode. So if you were going to be moving along a little bit faster, that's a way to be able to make the car go a little bit quicker. I actually leave it in traction all the time, and it's more than enough power for the car. A little change holder up on side there, if that's helpful for you. It does have sequential shifting down here, which you would just take the shifter and just shift the car. But most of, I'm going to say kids, most of your generation, they're taking their hands, they take your hand like this, and then they're flipping it, very much like a game controller. For going up, you're hitting this one, and for going down, this is shifting now, and we should be able to see, if I put it in gear, watch, I'm going to move it down, and I move it over to sequential, okay? Now, even though I'm standing still, it says I'm in 4 because it thinks if we're in overdrive, it's going to take us out of our top speed, which is 6, drop us to 4 so that we're going to be ready to rock and roll. If we're out there on 95, it drops you out of overdrive because overdrive is not a torque gear for speed. It drops you down to a gear that's going to go. So let's try to see what happens here. I'm hitting the switch for down. You see the numbers going down. I'm hitting the switch for up. See the numbers going up? And that takes me up to up. So we would be able to drive along and shift the gears from the paddle shifters if you were wanted to, instead of doing this here. It's the same thing, okay? I'm shifting the gears down, 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 and then up, 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 up. All right? That's called sequential shifting, and basically it makes the car just a blast to drive if you want to manage that. Otherwise, you put it into D and drive the car, and the car just goes like anybody else's car out there. It's pretty cool that way, okay? Automatic glass here for being able to make the windows go up and down is pretty handy. That's a nice feature as well on the inside. Air's blowing really cold. You've got the, which is not a surprise, by the way, it's a Toyota. You can expect that over the life of the vehicle. Sunroof up on the top there. In the event that you have any type of what they call home link, these would be like garage door openers, maybe automatic lights. You can hook stuff up. That will work with these switches so that you can do that from the car instead of having a bunch of remote controls tied up alongside there. And on the inside. So anyway, I thought I'd take this couple minutes just to show you this car. I hope this video is helpful. And again, doesn't mean you have to fall in love with this specific one, but if this one's a trigger car, it works for you, feel free to reach back out to me. My contact information is listed below in this custom web page here made specifically for you. I hope these help, or this helps, and let me know what you think, okay? Once again, David Gould, Sloane Toyota Philadelphia. We're looking forward to earning your business whichever way you go with this. It's our pleasure.